Motley Crue has had their fair share of feuds over their several decade run, but today I want to focus on bands who hated touring with Motley Crue. In 2016, Motley Crue would be hit with a whopping $30 million lawsuit by their former tour openers, a band called the Raskins. They would be made up of brothers Logan and Roger Raskin, and the openers claimed they paid upwards of $1 million just to open for the Crue, but they would claim in their lawsuit they were, and I quote, subject to assorted acts of alleged harmful conduct. The band had opened for Motley Crue as part of their 2014 tour, and the brothers claimed they were hazed, including being forced to play to small crowds because Motley Crue's management refused to allow ticket holders into the venues at the scheduled time. The lawsuit also claimed that the band was physically attacked with gear, they had their sound mix altered, and the opening act claimed that at one show in Connecticut, Motley Crue's roadies jumped on stage during their opening set wearing gorilla masks and using water pistols to spray Raskin with urine. But since 2016, there hasn't really been any update on the status of the lawsuit and whether it was settled or went to court. The band Steel Panther would tour with Motley Crue in 2011, but according to the band's drummer Stick Cedinha, the jaunt wasn't very good. He would tell Music Life magazine, Motley Crue members Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx did not like it when we went on tour with them in 2011, and that was the only time that we really felt unwelcome. The thing with those guys is that they thought we were actually making fun of them directly, and I just gotta chalk that up to their egos being too big, because nothing that we do has anything to do with them directly. Things would escalate in 2019 when Stick Cedinha and Steel Panther frontman Michael Starr were interviewed by Little Punk People and made a joke about Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil, as you can see here.
I would bring back Vince Neil.
He's not dead.
I bring back the Vince Neil from back in the day.
Oh, that guy's dead.
Yeah, because that guy's dead. He's gone.
You'd bring back John Bonham, dude.
Oh my God. You know what? I would be too intimidated.
And you know, he was probably exaggerating a bit. Crue bassist Nikki Sixx would get wind of the crack and took to Twitter to slam Steel Panther, tweeting, "The singer in Steel Panther can go F himself, wannabe band putting down Vince Neil." A fan would point out that Neil supposedly performed with Steel Panther on stage, to which Sixx responded, "That's why they're a-holes, backstabbers." Cedinha would respond back to Sixx writing, "Sounds like someone needs some effing attention, haha," later adding, "In order to stab someone in the back, you have to be somewhat cordial to begin with." Steel Panther went for the throat, adding on Twitter, "Hey Siri, what's backstabbing?" they'd ask. They would link to a 1994 interview with Motley Crue after Vince Neil was fired, and were asked about a jet skiing accident Neil had suffered at the time, resulting in Sixx laughing about it.
But did they care when their former bandmates sustained several broken ribs and internal injuries while jet skiing a few weeks ago?
My heart goes out to you. What happened to the coral reef?
Oh, man. Hey, when 300 pounds of blubber land on the coral reef, you know there was some dust flying around.
You're invited, but I weigh a ton.
Oh, okay, here we go, great. Now you know that's going to be run.
This feud dates back to 2009 when Motley Crue was on tour with Godsmack as part of Crue Fest 2. Godsmack frontman Sully Erna would be interviewed by Artisan News, where he slammed Motley Crue's diva behavior, as he said here.
Sometimes egos run high, man, and there has definitely been some rock star garbage on this tour that we just have never seen in our career. Every band, from Black Sabbath to Aerosmith, Rush, Metallica, you name it, they've always, like, I don't think there was ever a threat, you know what I mean? Like, who's gonna dwarf Metallica anyways? But there's always just been this mutual kind of like, we want to put on a great show. So bring your bells and whistles, bring your show. So between you guys and us, we can, you know, make these people get a bang for their buck. And that's really what entertainment has always been about. And so I've never been in a position before where we felt we had to really protect this thing, you know? It's kind of like a dog with a bone, man. It's like you put us up against a wall, we're going to come out swinging. If there's going to be some people that are going to treat other people a certain way, then I'm going to go out there every night and crush you on stage, make sure that we make you look old and fat.
It would turn out that Erna's comments were aimed directly at bassist Nikki Sixx, who responded to the comments, as you can see here.
I had a great time. The singer in Godsmack was complaining about me, basically. They say he wrote a song about me, but he's never confirmed to us, so we would just be gossiping, you know, so I don't know if it's true. But I guess they had a bad time on the tour. So, you know, them.
That song that Six is referring to is called Crying Like an Expletive. Godsmack drummer Shannon Larkin would claim that the song was not actually written about Six, but rather San Diego Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers, who cried after losing a game. A separate interview, Larkin would tell staticmultimedia.com a little bit more about the feud and what happened behind the scenes on tour with Motley Crue, saying, "What exactly happened behind the scenes? I can't speak for the rest of the band. My only problem is the way their security treated our friends and family backstage. Made it a bit uncomfortable to try and hang out normal because it was such a big deal when Motley Crue was in sight backstage. Like our family and friends were going to bother them or something, which was simply not the case. And I always hate it when the opening bands are barred from watching the headliner from a designated spot somewhere on the side of the stage." That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again in Rock Culture Stories.